filming. I think this is not some simultaneous gig. And so, I mean, this August, it's going to be 1 year since, well, not even this, like May is when RHONY goes off the, we're like into a year now where no one has earned a paycheck that was making a paycheck. So now we're going to have this new reincarnation. So really I think if there is this OG show, I personally think my sources tell me, and that I could be wrong, I'm not always right, that it's one first and the other after, if there's a second one. And that's still a good year away. So it's kind of like, it's still not a great thing if you're Luann and Ramona and Sonia having had a certain paycheck. It's like, to me, you lost your job, and there's no shade. And like, I'm not, because I mean, Luann is just the most wonderful person to me, and I will be loyal to, it's like, and even Ramona, who is, I mean, I don't even know what to say about my interactions in the real world with Ramona, but I don't wish, just like I apologize to Jill Zarin, like, I don't wish harm. Like, I don't wish someone to lose their job. Like, it's a huge $1 million paycheck.
Sonia. I love Sonia. Her comedy tour is selling, she's doing well on this comedy tour. I agree. I think that's very interesting, because you're right. I mean, this OG cast, it's going to be 2 years before we potentially see them back. That's a very long time. And, do audiences still have the love for them, 2 years later? Of course, to your point, genius announcement. But then what will come? Because really, who are they going to bring back? I mean, maybe they do bring back Sonia. Maybe it's Sonia. Maybe they bring back Barbara. Like, I loved Barbara. I wish she'd stayed on the show. Yeah. I liked Barbara.
That is not the first name that I would think of, but okay, here we go. No, I think that everyone will be, so listen, so I think, here's the thing, like, listen, I don't think that NBC really has a definitive answer, but I do. Now, here's the other thing. So I'm thinking all this. This is in my head. No one's told me this. Just that, is this OG show real? Is it really ever going to happen? I think this is and then I run into somebody completely. I run into someone who is in the business. This happened last night at dinner.
Okay.
And, on the Upper East Side, and the conversation went there. And I didn't say a word. And they said to me, like, this OG show's never going to happen, And it's not like it's Andy Cohen or someone that works for Bravo, but it's someone that has a rational thinking mind. And I'm like, it's so funny, because that's exactly what I think. So I just think anytime I think something and I'm like checking myself in the mirror, and then someone else is thinking the same thing, who is like in the business, and it's just, that's when it's like, well, you're not in my mind, I'm not in your mind. Now it validates my thoughts that, wow, okay, let me have a second martini, because it's exactly what I have been thinking.
Okay.
But so but I do have to say, this is what I think. This is truly what I think. Like, you look at Salt Lake, and I mean, people love Salt Lake. They're in it. So I think when this show comes out and it's cast, and I just think by the end of season 1, like, if RHONY is such a blockbuster with this new cast, and I don't see how it cannot be, because the same people that are involved in casting Salt Lake are casting this. It's the same people. So I don't see how it's not going to be a blockbuster. I think, look, I could even see them getting a Jill Zarin. I think Jill Zarin's going to earn a paycheck. You know how Gina Keogh did a voiceover in the OC when they switched the cast around? I could even see them getting Jill Zarin. Honestly, I could see them getting Jill for this. See, I'm giving some work to Jill here today. I could see Jill doing a voiceover, like, the more things change, they stay, or whatever. And there it is. And Jill will take her check. Girl, take your check and run. And just, here they are. And I think it's going to be a bunch of little 37 to 45-year-olds running around, and lots of. Now, if this is a blockbuster New York benefit and charity and Hamptons and Rothschild and this and that and drama and this and the art world, and by the end of the season, if it's a blockbuster, I don't know how quickly we're going to have an OG show. I think it's out there. So if this is not so great, but even if it's great, we might have an. So I think one of two things will happen. I think either we're going to just not have an OG show because it's going to be a year later, or I think we'll have an OG show. But I don't think it's. I personally don't think it's going to be. I think it's Peacock, 8 episodes, like Girls Trip. And I don't think, I mean, and there's all this crap online. There's no salaries being talked about yet, but I do think the $1 million, the 800,000 that Sonia and Luann, I mean, it's going to be a huge take it or leave it. Here's like 100 grand or whatever they get, 250, whatever it is, it's not going to be the same. So to me, it's like, that's where it's like, I think if you're a Luann, a Sonia, or a Ramona, like this has to be like, it's kind of over in the traditional $900,000. This is what I think.
This is like the end of an era. I mean, this is pretty amazing. Okay. So if you were looking into your crystal ball and let's say they do exactly what you're saying, they go, okay, we're going to give 8 episodes to this Peacock, to this OG cast. Who would it be?
And maybe, maybe 10. And I think reduce salaries, well, I do think it would be Ramona.
Yep.
I do think it would be, I'm going to give my girl, my new girl, Jill Zarin, a seat.
That would be good. I actually
Andy says, she's annoying, but he's name checking her in the Vanity Fair article. He's a Variety, he's saying like, I'm waiting for my phone to ring with Jill. I think Jill's learned. I don't think she's going to call. I think Jill would get a seat on this. She's a classic name. When you say RHONY, I think Ramona. I think absolutely Countess Luann. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think for this, in these intents and purposes, Kelly Bensimon. Kelly deals with daily. Kelly and Jill are close. Kelly and Luann are close. I think Kelly would get a seat. Listen, it's a lot different when it's 8 and it's 10 episodes. It's not a whole thing. Kelly would step up for this. I think you might see a Dorinda in there. So whereas
really, you think they'd bring Dorinda back?
Maybe. I mean, let's see how it goes with Girls Trip with her and Jill. I don't think those two were like tight before Girls Trip, but I think Dorinda's in, you're in the mix. She talks to Luann and it's these people really know each other. I think if you're going to do this, and I don't even know if it's going to be personally, I don't think it's going to be a let's follow you around for 9 months. I think it's going to be it's Jill's 60th or whatever, I think it's going to be an event. Yeah. I think it's going to be, that's what I think. Now look, that's no shade. You're going to get a paycheck. The rumor is they had $200,000 for Girls Trip for a week. So I think it would be, I think Kelly would be back. I think maybe Sonia too. Yeah. But I mean, I don't think that, Bethany, and listen, even if we had this, that's the other thing. No, but I think